Yo, what's good, guys? This is Theo here. Welcome back. So we are on Free Code Camp Backend Development, Learn You Mongo Part 2. So we're going to finish off with 3 lessons. We're going to be working on remove, count, and aggregate. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my terminal and change directory into my desktop, change directory into Mongo, and I'm going to open this up with my Sublime binding. And so let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, so let me clear this out. Get rid of all that. I'm going to do it from scratch. So what we need to do, we need to require the Mongo client. So we'll say var MongoDB equals require MongoDB, and we want to latch onto this Mongo client, which is going to allow us to issue queries to our database. I also want to open up mongod, so I'm going to go ahead and do this sudo mongod and run this, and here it is listening here on port 27017. You can also open up the Mongo shell if you'd like, and you can show my DBs here. Cool, and here's learn your Mongo as well, but really anything you want to see is there. Okay, cool, so let's go ahead and perform the remove. So I'm going to type in learn new Mongo, just a little bit bigger for us to see. And so clear this out real quick. Learn you Mongo. Okay, cool. So we're going to go to remove. And this lesson involves removing a document with a given ID. The database is available through this process variable. The collection is going to be the second argument, so the third process.argv, and the ID will be the fourth. So here's the syntax for it, but I'm just going to run through it for you guys. So let's go ahead and grab the URL of the DB. So it's going to be MongoDB localhost plus process.argv2. We also want the collection, and that's going to be process.argv3, and we want the ID, which is going to be process.argv4. Okay, because remember, after 2, these are arguments that are going to be passed in by the user. So let's go ahead and connect to our DB. So I'm going to do mongodb.connect. We're just going to take in the URL, and the second parameter is going to be what happens after this execution is attempted. It's going to be an error and a DB. If there's an error, let's go ahead and throw that error. Else, we're going to do db.collection. I'm going to pass in this collection here, and then I'm going to do .remove, and what sort of object this is going to take in. This is going to take in an ID. We're going to set the ID to be equal to this ID up here, and then finally it's going to be a function with an error and a doc. So if there's an error, let's go ahead and throw that error. Otherwise, let's just console.log. Otherwise, we don't need to do anything. We're just going to do a db.close. So cool. Let's go ahead and run this. So we'll do learn you Mongo verify program.js. Make sure this is good to go. There you go. So they had a very similar setup. You can see it. But remember, like always, we're handling these errors all across the program. So let's go ahead and type learn you Mongo. And now we're going to do the count, which is going to give us a count of a certain identifier in our collection. So here we want to learn about the count with a number of documents that meet certain criteria. We want to use the parrots collection from the Learn You Mongo database to count all documents where age is greater than the first argument passed to your script. And that first argument, again, is going to be process.argv3. Okay, so let's change this up a little bit. So we don't need really any of that, but we can set age equal to process.argv3. Let me just do a parse int on here just to make sure this is a number. And cool. So let's go ahead and do mongodb.collection parrots. Or my bad, I messed up with something. Let me we got to do mongodb.connect, and it's going to be MongoDB localhost, and it's going to be learn you Mongo, and then a function with an error and a DB. So if there's an error, then throw the error. Otherwise, we're going to do db.collection, and the collection is going to be parrots. And then after we've run that, we can do .count, and this is going to take in where we want to say where age is greater than, and what is it greater than? Age, okay? And this is going to take in a function which has an error in account. So if there's an error, like always, we're going to go ahead and throw that error. Otherwise, let's just console.log the count, and let's close our connection to the database. So that should do it right there. So let's type learn u mongo verify program.js. Make sure that gives us what we want. And why is it? Let me see, where age is greater than the first argument passed to your script. Let me change this to process.org v2. No, it should be 3. Age is greater than plus age. Let me run this again. Maybe it's not. I thought it was 3. Okay, I guess it's 2. My bad. Yeah, so it's, I don't know why I was thinking it was 3. So yeah, it's process.org variable 2, and then here we have this greater than, sort of filtering out our query, and then we're going to return the count. Cool. Awesome. And finally, guys, our last one is going to be aggregate. This is going to allow us to perform some like mathematical functions like average, first, last, max, min, etc. And so what they want us to do is we want to calculate the average price for all the documents in the prices collection. Okay, so let me get rid of that. We'll say in the prices collection, and we're going to call aggregate. And this, instead of taking an object, this is going to take in an array of objects, an array of methods we're going to call on it. And the first one that we're going to call is going to be it's going to be match. Okay, so we're going to say I don't know why is it doing that? Okay, so match, but I think it's with the $sign. Let me make sure. Yeah, so match, we want to match on the condition where let me go back up, and we want to match on the condition where size. Okay, and where's size? Hold on, let me figure out where size is. Price collection of the size. Okay, so size is going to be match on the condition where process.argv2. Let me do a parse. We'll just convert it to an integer right there. And then after that, that's our match function. And then what do we need to do? We need to group it. So let's run group here as well. What do we want to group by? Let's look. So we want to group where the ID, yeah. Okay, so we want to group, and then it's going to be ID, and what is our group going to be? Our group is going to be equal to ID is going to be equal to arbitrary string. I guess we can just say prices. It doesn't matter. And then finally, we'll say, what do we need to group on now? ID, total, and, oh wait, ID is prices, and then we're going to say, what do we need to get? Let me look it up again. Aggregate, calculate the average. We'll just say average. And what this is going to be is it's going to be the let me look it up. It's going to be the average of what is it going to be? Average of prices, I guess. I think so. Let me try this out. Average of prices. So those are our functions in there. And make sure that's right. Then we're going to call toArray on this. There's going to be a function error and docs. Say if there's an error, just go ahead and throw this error. Otherwise, say var results equals docs 0 dot average, and then let's just console.log results dot toFixed 2, and let's do a db.close to close our connection to the database. So I think I might have this a little bit wrong, but let's make sure. Match is process.argv2. Run a parse int on here actually. Parse int on process.argv2, and let's try this again. Okay, your solution didn't aggregate. Process.argv2. Actually, let's do this. We're gonna say match age process.argv2, or we'll say match. Or say change this back out to match plus. All right, let me look real quick in here. So learn Mongo solutions. I was just looking at this to reference it. Let me see what I'm doing wrong here. So exercise, aggregates, and solution. So size, okay, so we're aggregating. Let me just pull this in here and see real quick. Here, layout, columns 2, and let's see how they have it differently than I do. So yeah, we'll change this to size, and then size. Okay, so prices.aggregate match where size is size. Okay. Where size is size. Okay, and then group where ID is going to be equal to average. Okay, and then we want. Yeah, all right. I made a few mistakes. Average is going to be equal to this price variable. Okay, and then we're calling toArray, and then results 0 dot toFixed 2. So this should work now. Let me see. Let's run this again. All right, yeah. So that does work. It's a bit much. I can't say I've really done that heavy of like. I don't know if it's that heavy, but that much of like filtering my data. Usually I'm not building out like that. I don't know, I'm not doing a lot of that stuff in my applications, or I haven't had a need to do that. But so the big difference here is that this takes an array of methods that you're going to perform before you actually call toArray on it, and you get your documents back from the Mongo document store. So here we're just matching by this size variable, which is going to be whatever. It's going to be some sort of integer. Or some sort of, I guess it could be a string as well. And we're grouping on the ID variable, the average. And finally here, we're saying the average is going to be an average of the price in this collection. So kind of pretty involved, to be honest. I didn't get that the first time, and I still had to reference it just because you have to get it just right. But yeah, guys, that was part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for the feedback, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.